when someone hires me to do an appeal or to respond to an appeal, I mean, they get me. I don't have paralegals who can do it. My associates really don't do it. And so when someone hires me, they get me.
Do you know if you're allowed to appeal rulings from family court? Well, we're going to find out today because that's what we're going to ask the lawyer on today's episode. Hi again, everybody. I'm Rob Rosenthal with AskTheLawyers.com. My guest is attorney Jimmy Vaught, a family law attorney with the Vaught Law Firm in Austin, Texas. Jimmy, thank you for making some time to help us out today.
Of course.
So let's just start at the beginning. We hear about appeals in criminal court and civil court, but family court, let's say a divorce or child custody, are you able to appeal rulings from those courts?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, I do that all the time. It's very common.
So under what circumstances might there be an appeal, and what are there time limits, that sort of thing?
Well, let me kind of touch about, basically normally what you appeal in out of family court are actually divorces, in particular the division of property. It can include child support and anything else that the court rules. And as far as time limits, you can only appeal a final judgment, and you have there's a couple different time limits. If you file a motion for new trial, you can appeal up to 90 days after the final order is signed, and then basically you have to file a notice of appeal. Essentially, once the record, the transcript by the court reporter, and the other documents are filed with the Court of Appeals, then you have 30 days to file a brief.
And let's say you lose that appeal. Is that the end of the process then?
Well, not necessarily. You can also appeal to the Texas Supreme Court. However, unlike the courts of appeal, which have to hear your appeal, anything in front of the Texas Supreme Court is discretionary. So they have discretion whether to, consider your appeal or not. And in fact, the overwhelming majority of cases filed in the Texas Supreme Court are basically denied without any kind of consideration of the merits.
Give us some examples of some of the cases that you've had appealed through family court.
Sure, and I checked. Right now, I have 4 cases pending in the courts of appeals. Two of them involve child custody issues, where one parent or the other was granted primary custody of the child. And there's also one that involves a division of property and child support determination. And then another where mother filed in California, a father filed here, and it was a fight here by dismissing it here, and the case going to California. And so those are the ones that are pending right now, and that's pretty common.
And is it the kind of thing, this appeals process, that just whoever your family attorney is, anyone would know how to handle this, or is it kind of a specialty? You need somebody who has experience in that specific area.
Well, you really need a specialist. Very few family law attorneys basically are aware of the nuances involved and the deadlines. And in fact, most of the cases that I handle on appeal are referrals from other lawyers.
So let's talk about board certification. Tell me what board certification you have, and what does that mean exactly, and why is that important?
Sure. I have 2 board certifications, family law and civil appeals. In both cases, you have to have a certain number of years of experience. You have to file a lengthy application, and then if you're allowed to take the exam, it's like a 6-hour written exam. It's pretty onerous, quite frankly, and it's pretty difficult to get.
And then I'm guessing even rarer to have somebody who's double board certified like that, correct?
There aren't very many people who are double board certified. That's correct.
And what does that mean to be a civil appellate certified? What does that mean exactly?
Basically, that you're certified in handling civil appeals, which also includes family law appeals.
I got you. And how do you know if your attorney is certified, double board certified? Is it just the kind of thing you ask? And is it important to ask that sort of thing?
I think it would be important to ask. I do think you can look it up, when you Google somebody, and I think there's also a listing of board certified attorneys through the State Bar of Texas.
When you're considering going through the appeals process through family court, Jimmy, are there financial considerations people should think about? I'm guessing someone with your experience can help them decide whether or not it's even worth pursuing, yes?
Well, I mean, one of the first financial considerations is, appeals are expensive. And so obviously a lot of times people have used up their funds in the trial and they don't have the funds to proceed. However, if they do have the funds, basically it is, like I say, it's pretty expensive. You have to pay for the transcript by the court reporter, the other documents. And then basically with me anyway, when someone hires me to do an appeal or to respond to an appeal, I mean, they get me. I don't have paralegals that can do it. My associates really don't do it. And so when someone hires me, they get me.
Is it the kind of thing they can talk to you about it beforehand and you'll help them decide whether or not you think it's worth going forward?
Oh, sure. And there have been cases where I've encouraged people not to appeal because I didn't think they had a chance to be successful. And several people chose to do otherwise, and they were unsuccessful. But, so I normally walk people through it and, also talk about the length of time it takes to have the appeal decided. Let's say, for example, if you appeal today, after all the briefs are filed, the court of appeals, they don't immediately consider it. It could take a year or 2 years to get a decision.
Wow.
And particularly with the child custody proceeding, I mean, a lot can change in a couple of years concerning child custody.
Wow, I didn't realize it would take that long. Let's say it's about a support, spousal support or child support, that sort of thing. Do you have to pay whatever the first decision is while you appeal the second decision?
Yes, you do.
So it's not put on hold or anything like that?
It's not put on hold. It's not stayed. There are some instances with division of property. You could file a bond to supersede the judgment, for example. But spousal support, child support, that you can't do that.
All right. Once again, that's why it's important to have somebody that has your knowledge to help you through this whole process.
That's correct.
Jimmy, thank you so much. Lots of helpful information today. I do appreciate your time, and thanks for answering our questions.
Sure thing. I'm glad to do it.
That's going to do it for this episode of Ask the Lawyer. My guest has been Austin attorney Jimmy Vaught. If you want the best information about family law, or you'd like to be able to choose a lawyer that lawyers choose, make sure to go to askthelawyer.com. Also, please take a sec to like, share, and subscribe by clicking on the button below. Thanks for watching. I'm Rob Rosenthal with Ask the Lawyers.